This morning on The Dish, Russ and Daughters, a New York institution specializing in appetizing, which is basically dairy and fish, or as described in a new cookbook, foods you eat with a bagel. Appetizing honors kosher dietary rules, which restrict combining dairy and meat. But here's the thing, you don't need to know any of that to take absolute delight in this old world cuisine.
If you guys are ready, I can help you guys out.
To step into Russ and Daughters is to partially step into the past.
When that tomatoes on you, think they put them in?
You take a number,
93, 94.
and wait for the timeless taste of its offerings.
In an appetizing store, there is so much to choose from. Do you have favorite foods?
Strangely, one of my favorites is this tuna salad.
It never gets old for Josh Russ Tupper.
One of my other favorites right now, and this is a beauty contest, right?
Yes.
Is the pastrami salmon on a toasted bialy with butter. Super simple.
Josh is a great-grandson of Joel Russ, who opened his appetizing store in 1914. It's been run by family ever since.
You're surrounded by your family and so much history. What's that like for you?
It's wonderful. Being sort of the torchbearer of this business. And that's really how we think of ourselves, me and my cousin.
Our great-grandfather's literally staring at us, kind of like with Mona Lisa eyes, tracking us.
Nikki Russ Fetterman is Josh's cousin and business partner.
I grew up as a shop kid because my parents ran Russ and Daughters. So literally Russ and Daughters was a mom and pop because it was my mom and pop.
Nikki's father, Mark, originally practiced law. His nephew, Josh, a disillusioned semiconductor engineer in Oregon. Nikki tried various careers. None were able to ignore the lure of what Joel Russ built from the ground up.
He was an Eastern European immigrant. This was in 1907. He needed a way to make some money, and he started by selling herring out of a barrel here on the streets of the Lower East Side. Herring was a cheap form of very nutritious food. It reminded these new arrivals of their homeland that they had left.
In the early 1900s, New York's Lower East Side was the landing place for immigrants from all over, each bringing the unique traditions that would become ingrained in American food culture. From Italian bakeries to Chinese dumpling shops, Jewish delicatessens, and more. And as the population expanded, so did the businesses.
It took him 7 years to go from a barrel to having a push cart, and then in 1914 he was able to open up a shop.
It's a perfect example of the streets of that time.
1929.
Yeah, this is the shop where it's still there today.
Wow.
It had a different name originally. Actually, it was J. Russ National Appetizing.
In 1933, Joel Russ changed the name and leaned on his 3 daughters, including Josh and Nikki's grandmother, Ann.
As you were growing up, what did your grandmother tell you about that time?
I mean, in all honesty, not very much. We know it wasn't what she wanted to do. Right? She wanted to open a dress shop, to which her father said absolutely not. And she worked in the business and then married, and they both worked in the business with her sisters and their husbands.
I think the difference is that she didn't have a choice. They just had to do as they were told.
Yeah.
And then my father's generation, that was the 3rd generation, and for me and Josh, like, we could have done, and we did do different things professionally, but we made the choice. We chose and wanted this to be our path.
That path includes building a bridge into the future. On the centennial of the founding of Russ and Daughters, Josh and Nikki opened a cafe just a few blocks south of the original Houston Street shop.
Neither one of us had any restaurant experience. I think we're really grounded by just staying committed to what we knew. And we said, if we can just translate the store and what we do there into a sit-down experience, then we can do that. And we can learn the rest as we go.
We both see ourselves as torchbearers of this business and brand, but we're really trying to stay true to those historical references and ultimately make our family proud and not mess it up.
Yeah.
Now Nikki and Josh are